This is Chaitanya. So I hope you have heard my name before. So today I'm planning to take one session which is completely based on real-time scenarios, and it is near around Jenkins, Docker, Nexus, and SonarQube, and so on. So, and as you guys are aware of this, the webinar is conducted by a Scholar IT Solution, and this is one of the IT solution provider in US, and it has a lot of domain expertise and technical expertise, and they are serving multiple clients across US, and it is one of the best training and consulting company in US, I can say. And you can follow IT Scholar IT Solution through Facebook, and LinkedIn, and other social networking site as well. Okay. Now, as I think there is no need to give an introduction. Still, I just want to take this opportunity to introduce myself. I have more. Now, coming to today's session, basically. So, what we are trying to do, again, as I said, it will be completely real-time scenarios. So, what are the scenarios which I have worked on? So, I'll try to take few of those. Again, to be too much scenarios, but yeah, let me see how much I can cover. And again, as I said, it is more related to Jenkins, how to integrate and all. So now coming to this part, I am not going for the installation aspects. I'll be I'll try to cover up directly how to do the I'll directly take the scenarios basically. And if you have guys any questions, any clarification near around, please block me there and let us make the session interactive, so that I can. So hope everybody are good at gate branching, a minimum gate branching strategy I can talking about, right? And basically related to source code management system. And in market there are many source code management systems that there. So one of the leader is GitHub. You can talk about Bitbucket. Then you can talk about Stash. You can talk about GitLab here. So there are many source code management systems are available. Now, coming to this session, basically we'll try to cover up through GitHub. Right? So let me take one scenario directly. So in an organization, right? When I'm working in an organization, so I'm going to create one pipeline, right? I'm going to create one pipeline in Jenkins, and that pipeline, when I'm talking about creating a pipeline or creating or working in Jenkins, so in that organization, more or less, you can talk about 10 projects will be there. When I'm talking about 10 projects, maybe 10 different development teams will be there, right? So all those 10 development teams, take a scenario like, they're all are running under Java. Okay, that application, whatever they're developing, they're running under Java. And the build tool which they're using Maven, or let's say NPM. Okay, so when I'm talking about 10 different projects, so one of the project scenario which I'm talking about, one project I'm looking up with Java 1.8.28.281 with the Maven version which I'm using for building. Let's say I'm using 3.6.3. This is one project. Now I'm talking about, as I'm saying, I have 10 different projects. Let's assume another project which I have. Okay, I'm using JDK 1.9. Then I'm using, let's assume, 0. Okay, now another project I'm using, let's assume I'm using JDK 5.1, and I'm using, let's assume, 6.3.6. Basically, whenever we are talking about build and deployment aspects, right? So then that case, it is completely to the team which tool sets they are going to use as part of the build and deployment process, And again, whenever we are developing our application, right? So in that case, what you're going to do, the code which I'm going to write or the development team is writing, so that will be very specific to the software. Let's assume my code, I'm running my Java application. My Java application is very specific to the version of the Java or JDK, right? So if I'm going to use the higher version, it may not work because some of the methods might be deprecated, some of the functions may not be working, or you required to change the code. That is one of the aspects people or development team is expecting to run their project. Now, I am the DevOps engineer, right? So how can I provide this scenario? I'm talking about, this is simple one. So there might be many. I'm just talking about build part. I'm not talking about deployment aspects now. I'm just talking about building the code. Then I have to create the pipeline. So how can I give this configuration to 3 different teams? Let's leave the 10 different team projects now. I'm talking about 3 different teams have 3 different options, 3 different versions of Java or JDK you required. And Maven as a build tool, I'm using it. How can I provide this scenario or these specific versions of the software to 3 different teams through my Jenkins pipeline? Yep. Anybody, any thoughts? When I'm talking about doing the setup in one of the machine, definitely if you talk about, I hope everybody has our class path setup, right? Yep. So if I'm talking about my laptop, right? So in my laptop, what I'm going to do, let's assume I'm giving him in version, right? So whatever the code, so it will be building with this version, whatever the version is available, it will be building with a specific version of Maven. And similarly, if I'm using Java, similarly, in one specific system, that now my Maven version is this one. If I'm talking about Java, now I want to build the code with, now it is Java 281. Now what are the code I'm going to build in terms of Maven? It will take Java this version or JDK this version and Maven this version. Now I want to change my version here. I want to change with 251 with 366 3.3.6. What I have to do now, guys? Anybody? Let us make the session interactive so that we'll. In fact, other people also get some more interest, to do this. Can I use? How can I do? If I want to build, or there is a need, like I need to build my code with JDK 251. I mean JDK 8251 version with Maven 3.3.6. How can I build this code? Because this version is recommended by the team. Okay, somebody was saying updated the code software. Can you please elaborate, Prabhakar? Can you give a little bit brief? Updated the code software means I didn't get the part. Can you please elaborate a bit? Anybody?
Installed the Java on different path.
When you are installing Java on different path, so can you use it here? You cannot use. Yes, you can install. Yeah, Santosh Kumar. Thank you. Yeah, that is one option which he is talking about. You have to, what you have to do now in the same system, because where I am running the Java here, I mean, see this machine where I have, even if I can install Jenkins here, in fact, that machine where I'm running Jenkins, that machine will have this default JDK and default Maven, which, and when I'm talking about default Maven, it will take the specific class path setup, right? So to do that, what I need to do, I need to go to my Jenkins. So okay, so let me open my Jenkins. I have already done the setup with Jenkins. So what I'm going to do, so let me create a new job here. Okay. So I want to just give a scenario called select Maven and Java. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to the freestyle job. I mean, if time permits, we'll go with the pipeline job. But yeah, better you should go with the pipeline job because almost all the companies or everybody is stuck on pipeline job. So ideally, you should not do any configuration in freestyle job. But if you are not hands-on or if you have not experience in freestyle job, it will be very difficult for you guys to create a pipeline job. So okay. So what I'm going to do, if you see the first and foremost thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give my code details, right? So let's say this is one of the repo which I have. I'm going to give the code details. I'm using the source code management system. I hope you guys are aware of how to install plugin and all. So as Jenkins, the tool which we are using, it has given very good feature, plug and play, right? Which plugin you want, that plugin just give it, and you should be able to work on the specific plugin or specific feature which you are looking as part of your CI/CD process, right? Now, let's say I'm taking the master branch, right? Now, what I'm going to do. So if you see there, it has multiple options are there, right? I'm not going for each and every option. I'm just going to take one option where I can add the build steps. So what I want first, I want a different version of Maven, right? Sorry, Java. So let's assume I'm going with Java 2.5.1, right? Now, what I have to do here, I need to select a Java version. So if you go here, I'm not getting any Java version. Then what I'm going to do, how it is going to work out. So as he said, rightly he said, Santosh. So what you need to do, go to your, Jenkins global tool configuration. And who is going to do this? Definitely this will be done by the, what you can say, to the Jenkins admin, who is managing Jenkins. And when I'm talking about admin, that admin can be the DevOps resource. Most of the cases, it will be the DevOps resource, right? So what you can do, you can go to the global tool configuration, right? So here, if you see, I have JDK. So what are the tool sets or what are the plugins you have installed based on plugin, it will be coming here. Now I'm going to just add a JDK. Now there are two different options you can add your tool. One option is you can just use Oracle JDK. But if you're going to use Oracle JDK, what you have to do, you have to give your credential. This is must, means after Microsoft, Oracle taken care, acquired Sun Microsystem, then these options are coming now. Previously it was not there. You just select the specific version of the software, whatever you are looking for, just use it. But now if you want to do it, what you have to do, you have to log in. So you can add a credential. This is one thing also. You can add your credential here, right? So then once you, this is two ways again. You can add this credential or else you can download the OpenJDK and you can run it. Let's assume I'm going to use my credential here. I think it will take the email ID. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll just use my credential. Okay, so what is the version I'm looking for? Let's assume I am going to use the version 8.2.5.1. So ideally it should available, but okay, let me take any version which is available. Let's assume this is the version which I'm taking, right? Now save it. So once I save it, so what will happen now? If you go to your code selection, basically just refresh the job. Yeah. So if you go to advanced option, okay. So let me give another also. so that it will reflect. Initially, it won't be reflecting. So if you have one or more than 2 versions of that, then you can able to see that configurations. Global tool configuration. Oh, sorry, why it is not coming? Because I didn't give the version, right? So let's assume I am going to give JDK 1.8. Just give the naming convention, proper naming convention, which version you are looking for, right? So I'm going to give 221, right? So I'm going to install it. Now let's assume I'm going to another. See, there are multiple things out there. You can extract it, you can tar it, you can directly offsite, run and batch command, whatever you want, all the options are available, right? So another way also you can do, instead of installer, I'll come to that. Okay, so let me take the another one. So I'm going to installer. Let me add another JDK, right? So what is the version I'm looking for? Let's assume I'm looking for JDK 9, right? This must agree. Okay, now just give the version here. Give the name. Let's assume I'm talking about JDK 1.8. This naming convention, guys, it has to be very specific, right? So JDK 9. Okay, this is one way I'm going to do. Now another way, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do a physical, I'm going to give a physical path, which I have already, right? So what I'm going to do, let's assume I'm going to give unselect that JDK home, and you guys know how the JDK home is, right? Let's assume I'm going to tell JDK, let's assume 1.8.291. Okay, so now here I have to give my physical path where I have to download the tar file, I have to untar it, then I have to give the path where, let's assume I have the path, and actually this path doesn't exist. Okay, and for your experience, reference I'm giving Java, then I'm going to give /JDK 1.8.291. So this is the path, and whenever you're talking about home, it will be one step below or before the executable. Sorry. So executables, most of the time it will be present inside the bin folder. If you are doing a class path setup, that you can do it here, right? So now I'm going to apply it. So it is not there because of that it is in the information. Now let me do that. Okay. So what I'll do, okay, configure. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select it. So I am going to select the version which the developer or the development team is looking for, right? So you have to select that. Let it go. Okay. So if you see now, it is coming. When it is coming about system, so when we're talking about system, it will take the default class path whatever you have set in the specific machine where your Jenkins is running, your slave is running. Now this is the customized one what you are looking for. So then you can select the specific version for the specific build and you can run it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this specific Sonar, my source code management system. If it is you are using Git, you can use Git. If you are using SVN, TFS, RTC, anything, so give that one. And repeatedly, obviously, you have to give your credential if you are using your organization, but it is GitHub, so you don't require any credential because it's public repo, right? Now I'm taking the master branch that can be also parameterized. We'll be discussing shortly that part, right? Now what I'm not going to be critically option or any build trigger option. Now I'm directly going to the build steps, right? Now if I'm going to the top level Maven targets, this is what I'm going to do. Now if you see, this has already 281. Now similar case, what I have to do, I have to go to the manage Jenkins option. So in the global tool configuration, what you have to do now, so what is the option I am looking for? Let's assume I am looking for 360, right? So let me go here, Maven installation, right? Now you just give which version you are looking for. Add Maven, just give which version we are looking for, 360. to select the 360. Okay, now just give Marvin 360, right? 3.6.0. Is that correct? Now let me apply it. Now let me go here. Let me save it, because or else it will go. Okay. Now configure it. And whoever working in Jenkins, okay. Now one, I'm not sure how many people are aware of. So if you see in this configuration page, if you see the configuration page, what is happening? There are two options. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this one. Now what is the goal I'm going to use? Obviously, I'm going to use, let's assume I'm going to use package. And these commands, again, the development team is going to provide you. You should not bother about the command, right? Now, anybody, what is the difference between apply and save? You can see two different options are there, right? Any difference? What is the difference between apply and save? Anybody? Yes, please. What is the difference between this apply and save?
So means it will save the changes, whatever the configuration we have made. But apply means it will add that files, right?
Okay. Anybody? Yeah, thank you. Anybody? This is one tricky thing. I have seen, and this one I asked many people in the interviews. You cannot believe, surprisingly, only I think I have taken more than 400 to 500 interviews. Only two to three people has given the correct answer.
In this, it will be saved and not applied.
Apply will be applicable for only this build. Save will be permanent save.
No, apply will start the build. Actually, it will kick off the build.
Okay. Anybody, please? Good. Thank you. Now, this type of session is very interesting, because if you're participating, definitely people will put some more interest, right? Anybody who are working in Jenkins?
Yeah, apply is from its temporary purpose. Save means it's a permanent. So whenever you run that job, but it's applicable for permanent.
Okay, let's assume I'm going to give, instead of package, I'm just going to compile. Take a scenario, okay? So if I'm going to apply, so what will happen? You tell me. So previously it was, let me save it, okay? So all the configuration is saved, right? It is giving compile, correct? So ideally it should give me again compile, right? So what are the configurations I have done? It is saved. Now what I'll do? Okay, so I'm going to change to package. I'm going to give apply. So what is the difference now? You are saying if I'm going back from this page and I'll open the configuration, it will change to compile again. That's what I mean.
The save changes and forces you, out
Yes,
of the current screen. But apply, it saves your changes and keeps you on the current screen.
What will happen if you have multiple configurations in the same page? A save configuration. So what you can do, no need to go back. Guys, many cases, I remember 5 or 6, 7 years before, I was working in one company where, you have to click on OK, then it will be going to another page. The end user started screaming, why I have to give another extra click? Now what will happen if I'm going to save, this page will go back to the original page, and again what you have to do, you have to go to configure, and again you have to come to this page, right? So if you are going to apply, what are the changes? If you want to do some more changes here, if you want to, let's assume after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute a shell command, right? So I'll just give ls. Okay, so I'm still in the page, and I can add more configuration. This is what the difference is. So save is, it will get out of this page, and if you want to do some more changes, again you have to go to configuration, and you have to come here and you can do the configuration. But if you're going to apply, your changes will be saved, but you will be still in the same page. The changes will be there, but you know, you will be in the same page. You can do further changes or job configuration. Is that clear, guys? Everybody? Now even if I can build it. What are the changes I have done? I can build now. But if you're going to save, again you have to go to the back page and original page, then you can run. Now let me build it. So let us see what it is happening. I don't know whether my credential which I have given that is correct or not. I think it is good. So now, so what it has done now? So it has taken the system configuration, Jenkins. Now, if you see, this is the Maven version. It has downloaded the zip file and you have created, install for you, and it has just done your command, right? So this is what, but if you see the organization level, nobody is going to install directly. So you have to give the physical path where you are downloading that, the specific software or specific tool, and you have to give the physical path where you want to get, or where you have the packages and all. So that is one. So what will happen? Let's assume again you are going to create another build. So what I'm going to do in another build, let's assume I'm going to do a new build. So I'm just going to give one. So I'm going to, again, this is one option, good option you can do. You can copy the configuration, whatever you have. So no need to do it again and again. All the configuration you can copy it from here. So this is like copy means what, when I'm talking about copy from one job to other job means it is copying the complete configuration, right? So what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do now. Now in this case, all the complete previous configuration, previous job configurations are copied here. Now what I'm going to do, let me change. This is another project I'm talking about. So here I might require a different versions of Java, different version of Maven, then I can do my build. Is that clear? So this is one scenario. Definitely whoever working as a DevOps engineer, definitely this scenario is must. 110% scenario. Now I'm talking about Java. Let's assume I'm talking about NPM, right? So let's assume in this case I'm going to 28291. I'm going to use the version. Let's assume I'm going to use 381. Of course, that version who is going to do, who is the Jenkins admin, that person is going to do. Now, 5-6 years before I was working in one company, so we are not the Jenkins admin. We are the DevOps resources, but we are not the Jenkins admin. So when I'm not the Jenkins admin, so what will happen? Definitely these configure options won't be visible for me, right? If I'm not an admin, so this configuration manage Jenkins option won't be visible for me if I am not a admin. So I was not the Jenkins admin. What I used to do, in fact, my team used to do, we used to create one ticket to the Jenkins administrator. We used to send one email to Jenkins administrator, because we want this version of Java has to be configured. This version of Maven has to be configured. So then those guys used to do that option, or they used to install Java, or they used to install Maven, and they'll be giving yes, it is done. Now you can use for your build. And this is the typical scenario for each and every project. Not only each and every project, and which CI tool you are using, that does not matter. Whether you are using Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity, Circle CI, AWS, what you call as code build. You talk about Azure DevOps. Every places, this is the same scenario you will be getting. Is that clear, guys? Till now? And whichever tool you are looking for, all the tools has the same options. You have to go to the global tool configuration, means who is the admin of Jenkins. So he will go to global tool configuration, he will install, and he will do the changes. I'll give one. Let us do that. Let us take another scenario. Let's assume, let me connect to the Jenkins box. So I have basically what I did in 3 different machines. I have one machine I have created Jenkins, another machine SonarQube, another machine I have installed Nexus. So let me go to this machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a different version of, let's assume, Maven. Let's assume I will go with 3.6.5. Okay, so I'll take the Maven version which I want as part of my build. So let's assume I'm going to do with this one. So what I'll do, let me copy. Okay, let's assume this is the version I'm copy link. So let me go to the automation. Okay, sudo. I want to give you some scenario here. I'm going to create a folder. Let's assume circulars. I do wget. Okay, I'll do star hyphen x v z. Then I'll do Apache. So Apache Maven. So this is the version which I'm going to do. Right now, I want this version in my path. So what I'm going to do here, go to my Jenkins. So obviously what I'm going to do, I'll be going to manage Jenkins, right? Then what I'll go to global tool configuration. Instead of installing automatically from the internet access. So guys, most of the cases you won't get internet access. So actually that installation you should not take directly installing from the internet. Rather, you should go with manual downloading, copy the artifact and do a build. Set the set. Basically do the setup, right? Now what I'm going to do here, what is my Maven? Yeah. So Maven installation. So this is what I have already installed. I don't want to go for installer. What I'm going to do, this one also I have given install, add another Maven. So I'm going to I'm going to give this Maven version. So now this is what I want to show you. Now you tell me why, if I'm going to apply it, will it work? Now I want to do the build, same build. Let's assume, let me configure it again. Why it won't work? Sorry, I forgot a name. Why it won't work? Any thoughts? Yeah, why it won't work? Anybody? Why it won't work? Because I'm going to give the path. So here I'm going to give that new path or which I have downloaded. Why it won't work? What is the issue here?
I think Maven home directory is not setting. I think this is the new Maven. That is the reason.
This is new Maven. Now I'm going to, as part of my selection, I'm going to go with this Maven. So will it work or it won't work now? This is what I want to show you. Will it work or it won't work?
I think it won't work.
Why? That's my question is why it won't work? Because I'm giving the Maven path, right? This is where my executable is present, correct? So inside the bin, when I'm talking about home, it will be one step back the bin, right? So if you see, I have the bin folder here, right? So if I'm setting the class path, obviously I have to go to the bin folder, but I'm not setting the class path. I'm just giving the home path, right? So ideally it should work. Now why it is not working? It won't work. As you said, rightly said, it won't work. But if you see what it is showing, this path, is not a directory in Jenkins master. Perhaps it exists in the agent, means this path Jenkins is not recognized. Now if I'm going to do the build again, so definitely it won't work. Suppose I'm going to do the build, it won't work because Maven won't set Maven path, it won't get. If you see here, there is spelling, there is Maven, this Maven, Yeah, you see, it could not find the executable. Hence, it is not finding the Maven path. Then what is the problem? If I'm going to do the executable by default, it will download and it will do it. But if you are running or you are customizing your app, because what will happen in real-time scenarios, most of these servers, you won't have any, what you can say, you won't have any internet access. So ideally that option you should rule out all the time. You have to think, how can I do it? Of course, it is one-time setup, but how I'm going to do it, right? So what is the option here? What I should do now? So
Hello.
guys, yeah.
We have to give the binary executable path.
So you want me to give bin?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
bin/mvn.
Okay. Yes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Just read the error message. So even though here also it is not recognizing the directory.
Okay.
Guys, remember one thing. Whenever I'm running anything from Jenkins, remember which user it will run. It will run an user called as Jenkins. Right? So you should have, now what is happening here, if you see that executable which I have here, right?
Permission.
Which permission I should give it?
Execute.
So which folder I'll give the execute permission? Please tell.
That folder we have installed there.
This is not actually installed.
Need to
So you
move
want me-
our Maven to Jenkins home.
Yes, very good. So what you have to do, because Maven, Jenkins won't understand this folder. If you see the folder structure, which is the path? This path is root. This is the root path. But if you see cd, cd, so this is the default installation bar leave. Jenkins is my default installation path. If you see all the folders, all are in Jenkins folder. So what you need to do, that path which you have here, now either you need to bring it here or else you can give the permission with Jenkins user. So what I'm going to do, copy R, what I'll do, b slash Apache, I'll just copy here. So if you see Apache came here, but still it is in the root. So let me go cd Apache, let me give this path. So again, guys, don't confuse with home and path. So whenever you require executable, then you have to go inside that. Basically, class path level you have to. Now it took. Since Jenkins understand, okay, this is inside my directory. Now that error message has gone. Now let me do it and let me. And this scenario, I think 1.5 years before. Nice one. So what it is telling? Java home is not, see, to run Maven, what it is required? It required Java. Now the Java home, whatever you have done the setup, so that Java home is not taken. Means the Java home, whatever, see, running Maven or any Java related applications, you require definitely Java home has to be set. Now we didn't select the proper Java. Maybe you have taken the system Java, which is not taken up by Jenkins. Yeah. So let me take system. I think maybe that is not taking actually. That maybe the credential which I have provided, that is not working. Yeah. So these are the smart. This scenario I'm taking, guys. I think 6 months before, my team they didn't tell me they're facing this. Almost they're struggling one day. Why it is not working? Why it is not working? Because this is the team is looking this version of JDK to build their project, to create the artifact, but they are getting the same error message. Okay, so now is that clear, guys? Everybody, till now, whatever you covered.
Yes.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do. So once this is the stage what we did first. We again, guys, this class path, it is very specific to the developer, and I hope there are many developers here. But if you are working in DevOps, definitely another way also you can do it here. Anybody can tell me, if I'm not going for the global tool configuration, how can I do that? I'm here, global tool. I was working with one guy who was working in Bamboo. So there is no global tool configuration. Then how he's going to do the build? Any other way I can do it here? I don't want to do this in global tool configuration. Can I do in any other way? Anybody? Now this is where I'm running.
We need to
Sorry.
Yeah, we need to specify that environment variable for that Apache Maven home directory.
If you don't mind, can you please tell me the command? Yeah. Obviously, it has to go up. It won't be coming here. First, you have to go with execute shell script, right? So let me delete it. So I'm going to execute shell, right? Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Okay, but how to do that? What exactly you have to do? Now let's assume in this, I'm running this Maven, right? But I don't want to run this Maven. I want to, in the same terminal, I want to use Maven, let's assume 3.6, 3.6.4. Then how I'm going to do that? I think 4 or 5 days before, exact same issue, I faced with one guy who was working Java, NPM. So he want to run the npm build command. Okay, but that npm was not recognizing. Then what do we have to do in that case? Of course, he has npm in that machine where Bamboo is installed. But whenever he is running the build, that Bamboo instance or Bamboo software is not recognizing that npm which is there in the system. And that might be one of the reasons, the permission issue. Now, what I am going to do here?
Set path.
Yes, very good. So that's what I'm doing. These are the basic things you have to, what you have to do, you have to do a set path. Here also, you have to export the class path. You have to set, in this case, what you do, you have to so what you have to do, you have to export the class path. So you have to export the class path. You have to hit Java home, then path. There is, the commands for how to do the class path setup. That way also you can do. So these are the two different. Not necessarily you have to go, because many cases what will happen, So when you are going to raise a ticket with the IT help or the other team who is managing Jenkins, so it will take some time, right? They have their own SLA. So in that case, your work will be stuck. So you cannot. So in that case, definitely you have to think the alternate options. Sure, then you should be able to do that build, because development team cannot wait for you for 1 day or 2 days to simply do one build. So in that case, you have to think the alternate option, where you can do your build. So in that case, if it is Windows, you have to do a set path. If it is Linux, you have to export a class path. Basically, I hope you are aware of class path. Clear, guys? Yeah. Now, what is the next? Let me go with the same scenario. So I'm going to give you one complete project actually, which I have executed previously. So now what I'm going to do, once I hope you guys are aware of the Maven commands, right? So what Maven MVN package will do, and typically in the project level, anybody is working as a Java developer and working Maven as the build tool, what the Maven MVN package will do? Yep, anybody?
will create the jar file, compile and create the jar.
Only jar or any other thing?
Jar or whatever it may be, based on the
Based on the
package that we mentioned in the POM file.
Thank you. So based on the packaging structure, whatever you have mentioned in the pom.xml file, so you can, it will create the package respectively, right? Now, one thing here again, so then what is the difference between these two? And why, and many cases, this command will help a lot. What is the difference between these two? Anybody? Guys, these are the small things. Again, I'm telling you, I have seen people are working, they're saying I am working in DevOps last 3 to 4 years, but they don't know what is the difference between these three. And not only this, yeah.
It will clean the before build.
What it will clean?
Actually, if you have any before run the job that as a build and that as a package, then if you give mn clean package, then it will clear that before build, I guess.
Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me clone this code. Yes, you are right, Dharmavir. So it won't clean everything. It will clean only the target folder. If you see, let's assume I'm just going to thank you, Dharmavir. So this is the folder. This is, I'm going to clone my code. Let me go to that message. My message is a bit slow. Okay, so this is my machine cd java. Okay, so I'll do mbn clean, but I'll just give mbn package. Obviously, first it will take time. Let me do it here. So what will you do basically? It is going to create the target folder. If you see, guys, here when I'm running the build, it is creating a target folder automatically. If you see here, if you see the log output, you see it is creating the target folder, and inside that target folder it is creating myapp.war file. So why it is taking myapp? I have done one changes in my pom.xml file. If you go to my pom.xml file, what I have done, I have just given something called as final. So because of the final, it is giving me, let me remove this part. I hope what developers, they knew why it is required. Okay, so I'm going to comment this line out. Okay, so let me comment it. Let me do a build. So let me do a build again. And what I do, I'll just give configure. No need to go to the machine. Many cases, you want to log into the machine and check something, but that is not necessarily required. You can do everything from Jenkins itself to debug your case. But it will take some time, but you can do directly everything from Jenkins. Okay, if you see here, one target folder is getting created. Now inside the target folder, my app.war file is there. So what has happened basically here, if I go to my folder, I think it will be my drive users. This is the target folder. This is what it is created now, right? Now let me do it again. Okay, what I'll do, I'll change the pom.xml file. Okay, so I'll comment this. Tell me what is the issue? What is the mistake I did? In fact, it is not an issue. I should go back and run the command. Wherever your pom.xml file is there, you should run the command there, not wherever you want, because it will by default it will be looking for the pom.xml file, right? Yeah. If you see inside the target folder, now go inside the target folder. Okay, cd target. Instead of doing that, you can just take the target folder. You have this war file as well as you have this war file. Right now, let's assume I'm going to change the version of the POM. I'm going to change, and who is going to do the changes? Obviously, this will be done by the developer. We will do that automation also here. Now, let me run the command again. Now, many cases I have seen people are very scared to do some commit. Why I'll be doing my commit message will be there, and somebody might ask why you have changed the version and all. So many cases people are scared about doing that. Now if you see, now all the 3 versions are available, right? So these versions based on the pom.xml file which is going to change by the developer. Now that is how many versions they have. All the versions will be available, and at the time of deployment, many things whatever I have seen, people will be going copy. So when we are talking about deployment, you can talk about Ansible deployment, you can talk about cell deployment, you can talk about publish over SSH through Jenkins. Any means of deployment you talk about, people will be giving something called as target, target /star.var, then to the deployment of the deployment server. Now what will happen? All this war file, all the versions of the war file, it will copy to the deployment folder, which is wrong. And if you are creating the deployment, and many cases, whatever I have seen, people will be writing the deployment script, and deployment script will be written by somebody else. CI/CD will be done by somebody else. That should not be the case. That person who is managing your DevOps infrastructure, that person should create the deployment file mostly. But I have seen there are exceptions. Okay, so in that case, you have to copy or you have to deploy only one war file. So now what I'm going to do, in this case, this command will help you a lot. So because all the time it should deploy only one war file, right? What I'm going to do, I am just going to change, clean package. So it will delete the target folder. It will delete the target folder and it will do a place build with new files. You see, this folder will be deleted automatically. Yeah, you see that folder is gone now. Means all the time you will be getting only one war file, and that war file will be deployed to your deployment server where you want to do the deployment. Is that clear, guys? Now if you see only this version. Now another thing, so each and every time whenever you are going to change the version, so what will happen? You have to go to a pom.xml, you have to change it. Now I don't want to do that. Let me automate that process. Let me automate the deployment process. So what I'm going to do in Jenkins itself, in the same job, okay, in the same job, let me pass as a parameter here. That version, whatever I'm going to do, okay, let me make this project as parameter. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give, as you say, there are many types of parameters based on your requirement. You have to go with the parameter which you want. You can select the branch. Maybe you can select the branch. This is one of the very good options which Jenkins has given. You can just give which branch you want to do the code. Right? So that case, you can select the branch which you want to do the build. Right? So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a small change here. Okay, I don't want to modify. See, this is the version which I'm going to do, but I don't want to do this version because this is whenever I'm going for this, then I have to go with the commit, but I don't want to do that commit. So I think I have written release branch. So Maven release. So what I do, I just change this here. Let me move this way. Yeah, I'm just going with a string parameter. I'm just going to give something called as version. Okay. Now default value. Let's assume I'm going to want to give a default value. You can give it. Let's assume 6.7.0-snapshot. I hope you guys are aware of what is a snapshot and what is a release. Okay. Please select or please enter the form version you want to print. Okay. Just give some value and trim it so that if any extra space or white characters are there, it will be deleted. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the build. So here I have to take the branch because I have to give Maven. I'll tell you what is the changes you are going to give. Okay. Now here when I'm going to give package, so I just give here as a parameter what -d, then that version, that parameter which I have given here. This is the version, right? This is the version which I'm going to give. This version I'm going to pass it there. So what is the version again? This version should come dynamically, right? Okay, equals $version. So just try to, this version is which you have in your form.xml file. If you see here, just check this one small thing here. So this version, whatever I have given, this is the version it is going to take it from here. This is I have given $version, and this is the version which I'm. So this $version is the one which I have given here, sir. This one. And D version which I have given in the form.xml file. Done. So this is what I'm going to do. Now if I want to build it now, build with parameter, let's assume I want to give snapshot. Instead of 7.0, I am going to give 7.1, right? Just build it. So just go and check the console output. I have seen many cases people are doing it because nobody wants to do some code change based on the version. If you see, this is a snapshot when it is coming out, right? So this is one of the finest feature which you can use as part of your build and deployment process. Which version you want to deploy and which version you want to build, that you can give as one parameter as part of your build. Now, what I'm going to do what I want to do is Sonar, and I hope you guys are aware of Sonar, right? What is Sonar will do? Anybody? Sonar Cube, or you talk about Sonar Cloud? Yep. Anybody?
Code quality tool.
Yeah, CodeSmell. If somebody can, yeah, CodeSmell is the right word. Yeah, quality also right word. What exactly it will do? Anybody? Why it is required? If I'm not going to do a Sonar Cube analysis or any static code analysis, I can say, what is the disadvantage? I mean, what is the problem you are going to face if you are not going to do a sonar analysis or any static code analysis? Anybody? Now, what it will do? What exactly it will do? Can you please just give me 2 lines? Oh, yeah, Tarun, can you please? Yeah, you are absolutely right. Many people are there. Maybe they are new. So you are talking metrics. When I'm talking about metrics, basically what it will do, it is something called a static code analysis. And why it is required? It is nowadays it is must. To talk about Sonar Cube or Sonar Cloud. So there is no difference between this. This is only you have to do every setup. Now this is a managed services which is given by Sonar. So that you don't require any server setup, you don't require any machine, you should have only one, what you can say, credentials. Once you have the credentials, you should be good. Right? Now, when I'm talking about static code analysis, so what it will do basically, it will go each and every line of your code and it will check whether your coding or the developer code or developers are following the proper standard of the specific technology. Suppose I'm using a C#. Yes, thank you. Reduce vulnerability. So when I'm talking about vulnerability in terms of code, what? So there are multiple types of vulnerabilities. One part, whatever you are talking about, Jayaprakash, it is code vulnerability. You can talk about dependency vulnerabilities. You can talk about, system vulnerabilities. There are multiple vulnerability types are there. But in terms of SonarQube or static code analysis, yes. So those will be part of your SonarQube status. I mean, once you have done your Sonar analysis, it will tell you what is the percentage of the code you have, everything, right? So that also should be part of your pipeline. So to do that, you have to integrate your Jenkins. You have to integrate your Jenkins. So this is one machine. I have created a SonarQube. So let me go to administration. Let me go to projects, management. Let me delete this project which I have analyzed here. Delete it. And this is again very straightforward. Now, and again, if you see guys, it will be doing everything will be doing in a single command. Of course, so what you have to do, you have to integrate your Sonar with your Jenkins. Again, as I said, your Sonar will be in a different machine. Your Jenkins is now, what is the setup I have done? I have one machine Jenkins. I have one machine Sonar. I have one machine Nexus. So all the things I'm going to do. Now, what is going to happen now? I'll just, of course, before that, I need to do some configuration. If I'm going to manage Jenkins, I'll go to system configuration. I have given my Sonar details. I have given what is my IP of the Sonar, and I have given my credentials here. Okay, I have given my credentials here. Now I can do only one, configuration here. I'm giving the SonarQube environment. Now here I'm going to do what I'm going to give. I'm just going to give Sonar colon. So now this command, what it will do? It will take your code from GitHub, take the specific version which the developer has selected or the build person has selected. For the POM, it will do a packaging and it is going to deploy. It is going to create the Sonar analysis. Let us do that. Let me remove this. Okay, let me go with the different one. I don't want to go for a new one. Yeah, it has created this one. Now it is going for SonarQube analysis. 3 files are analyzed and it has created the report. Now if you go here, go to the SonarQube, just refresh it. Guys, here it is the on-prem server, one of the server I have done. If you go to the Sonar Cloud, this is what we can do. SonarCloud.io. So here you can check this one. You can directly log in and see the things are exactly same. There is no differences at all. If you see duplication, coverage, security view, security reliability. So what you can do, you can have for each and every project, there is something called as quality profile. There are two things, guys. One is something called as quality profile. Another is called quality gate. I hope many people are are aware of the quality gate, right? I think Jaiprakash or somebody was saying something vulnerability and all. Hope you guys are aware of quality gate. And what is a quality gate basically? Can anybody, because quality gate played a major role as part of your CI/CD pipeline. Then what the quality gate is going to do? Yes, guys, please. Yeah. So Tarun, yeah, thanks, Tarun. So see again, this quality gate, it will be varying from project to project, right? So what will happen after end of the code build or end of the Sonar analysis? What it is going to do? It will give an percentage. It will give a percentage how much percentage your code quality is. Now if you see, this is one project has come now, right? So how much percentage? Based on the percentage, it will, you can make your, see again, if you want to make your build file with based on the quality gate, you can do it, or else you can just give your analysis what it is and all. If you see, it is telling 2 bugs are there, and it will, what are the bugs? It will tell what type of coding standard. Basically, this is the way you should not do the coding, and it is the type of issues. If you see, there are mainly, as I remember, 5 types. Yeah, it is blocker, critical, major, and minor, and info, right? So based on the criticality or based on the bug type, what you can do, it will give one report. It will give what is the percentage you have, right? So this is what it is going to, it will do a SonarQube analysis, and it will do your build for your for your application. And then this report will be published here, and you can give access to the developer, and they can check the report, and they will make sure. Again, here one good option is right there. It will give you what exactly you should do. It will give some suggestions, right? So it will give some suggestion. I think. Yeah, it is telling this is the way you should do the coding. You should add the duck type, insert the duck type before the HTML. You just simply should not go with the HTML format. So based on that, it is going to work. This is something called as, so in one command, what you are doing, you are building your code, doing packaging, and doing the SonarQube analysis. Now let us extend the same pipeline one step ahead. So what I want to do, once my analysis is done and my quality gate is fine, so what I want to do, I can upload this artifact to my Nexus, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload my artifact to Nexus. Okay, and again, there is nothing much you have to do. Just do one thing here. Instead of package, just give deploy. Of course, it is not very straightforward like the way I'm saying. So you have to do some configuration to upload your artifact to a Nexus. What is the configuration? Basically, you need to do changes in 2 different places. You need to do changes in 2 different places. What are the 2 different places? One thing you have to change in your pom.xml file. In your pom.xml file, you have to give your, there is some distribution management system. In this distribution management system, you can give your Nexus URL. Yeah, 104. So this is my Nexus URL which I have given, and it should upload my artifacts after the build. Okay, the command is, instead of deploy, I hope you guys are aware of Maven lifecycle, right? The Maven lifecycle is the last command which you are using as part of the Maven lifecycle. Don't be confused at any time. Deploy means it is not going to deploy anything to your server or the deployment server or to any environment. And what it is going to do, it is going to deploy to your Nexus or your repository management system. Here I'm going to use Nexus repository management system. Is that clear? So what you have to do the changes, you have to do 2 changes. One is your distribution source code management system, and another thing, in your settings.xml file, you have to give the credentials of your Nexus, because your Nexus should be authorized, or your user should be authorized, or you should authorize to the Nexus I'm the right person, I am the authorized person to do some activity in Nexus. Let me do this back. Okay, build with parameter. So instead of that, let me just give e.1. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, let me check it. Oh, it is failing. Yeah, it is failing. 40. See, this status code also it is very much important. The status code means I'm not an authorized user. 404. Someplace it should give unauthorized. I don't know why it is not showing. So let me do one thing. So I need to change the settings at XML file. One thing I can change that what you can say, Maven version, whatever I'm using. So let me use this default one.
I have one question.
Please.
So the version that we are selecting in Jenkins UI, so that is
Mhm.
how we do in real when we are trying to put the distribution in the Nexus or any repository.
Yeah. So that's what there are two different ways. One is now I am giving the settings.xml file. Okay, the settings.xml file. Many cases I have seen they directly now. As I said, there are two different places you have to change it. One is in the pom.xml file. Okay, and another is your settings.xml file. And where the settings.xml file, I hope you know where the settings.xml file is present, right? So the settings.xml file will be present inside the config folder of your Maven version, whatever you are using, right? So if you see the version of Maven, whatever I'm using, okay, so I'm using the default one. When I'm talking about, let me run it so you can get it properly. Okay. See, actually, whatever I have seen, both the options are available. Many one or two projects I have seen they are selecting the version on the fly, and other cases that we are asking the developers to change the version of the application so that it will do the build accordingly. So both the cases are possible. Let's assume I'm going to do 10.0 build now. Okay. So if you see the Maven version, whatever they're using here, I think it should, yeah. If you see, it has come here, snapshot. And if you see, this is the version, new version has created. Now you can go to the settings, you can go to the browser option and check the Maven snapshot. Okay, come. If you see, this is the version has come now, right? So for your answer your question, yes, both the cases I have seen people are doing it, but only the difference is you have to change the settings.xml file of the specific version of the Maven which you are using. When I'm talking about specific version, let's say this is the Maven version. I'm just talking about MVN. Okay, so this is the Maven version which I'm using. This is the one I'm using by default, right? 381 CD. I'll just go with conf. Okay, vi settings.xml file I have given. Yeah, if you see, I have given the Nexus username password here. I have given the Nexus username password, because of that it picked up. If I'm not going to, if I'm going to remove it, then it will give me 401 unauthorized. Is that clear? Are any doubt? Yes, guys. Till now, whatever we discussed, everybody clear? Yes, please. Can I go ahead? Guys, are you there? Okay. So let us go next step. So this is what, as part of the CI/CD pipeline, many people are used to do. And again, as I said, this is already I have done for one of the projects. Now, the other one which I'm going to take you. Now, what I'm going to do, this is I'm deploying my artifact to my Artifactory management system. Now we have integrated Jenkins with we have integrated Jenkins, then Nexus, then Maven, and Sonar. Now, what we're going to do, let us create a Docker container in the same as part of the same pipeline. When I'm talking about Docker container, obviously I required what I required. I required to create a Docker file. Guys, again, I'm saying whatever I'm saying you. This is one complete project which I have executed, I think 3 or 4 years before. Okay. Now, if you see as part of my code, now I have one Docker file created, and I hope you guys are aware of Docker file. So this is a Docker file which I have created already. Right now, what I'm going to do again, it should be part of my same, what you can say, same build and deployment process and same pipeline I can talk about. Okay, so okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add one shell script here, and in the shell script, what I'm going to do, and you guys are aware of how to, let me change to the master branch, and what I'll do again, because there are some difference in the branches, so let me do package, let me not upload it again, so that let me remove this. Okay, I'm not going to do Sonar analysis, I'm not going to do a Nexus upload. Okay, now I'm going to give Docker build -t, then t means what is the tag. Let's assume today's date, I'm going to give 15th August. Dot. Now, what I'm going to do, after creating the Docker image, I am going to give Docker run -d. It is going to run backend. I'm going to give -p. Yes, what is the port I'm going to run? So this is the port, my content, sorry, my machine port, and this is my application port which I have given in the Docker file, and I'm going to give 15th -ug. Then if I want to give a name, I can give a name. Let me not do it right now. Let me run it like this. So it will take the code, it will do a Maven build. If you want to do a packaging and all, that also it is possible. There is no problem at all. You can do it here. You can very much do it whatever you were doing before. Now let me not upload it and all. Okay, let me run it. So means same pipeline, it will do everything. Okay, sorry, my bad. I have, because I removed the version, so it may not work. Right? Let me remove the version here. Okay, so let me remove this version. So I'll go with my master branch. Okay. Let me go. Of course, you can select your branch based on the Git parameter plugin also. That is one of the options which you can use. Okay, just check it is my Docker container is running right now. Now what I can do, I can go to the machine, check. Okay, this is my Jenkins machine. It is the same. So what I'm going to do, Which one is this? Okay. I'm going with 8 slash. What is the application I deployed here? This is the application which I deployed. Oh. My app. Yeah, my application is running fine. So each and every time, what if you want to do some changes? Let's assume I'm going to do the changes here in my repo, right? I'm going to do the changes in my repo, right? And what I'm going to do, this is who is going to do? Obviously, guys, I'm ignoring the branching strategy here. Okay, I'm just everything I'm doing in the master branch. Let me do some changes here. So each and every time, you can add something, whatever you want, right? Okay, I'm going to change it. Now, what I have to do, if you go and check my containers are running here, Docker PS. So if you see, this is what it is running. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give Docker rm-a. Let's assume I'm going to remove it. So, but before that, while I'm creating the Docker image, let me create one Docker image. I mean, with a name, right? Obviously, it won't work now. Okay. So while I'm creating the Docker image, I'm going to tell, because I can run with a name. Sorry, I can delete the existing Docker image and I create a new one. Either I can, Docker container. I can see this Docker container image name. So this container ID will be changing all the time whenever we're going to create a new container. But I don't want to do that. I want to do some operation with the name. So there is one command, whatever you can use it here. When you are running the Docker container, you can just give ---- name. Let's assume I'm just going to give test image, a test container. So this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, let's see. I think this is the same one. Oh, but I doubt. Let's see. No, that syntax is wrong, I feel. No need to remember, guys, anything. Okay. Docker run with name. So you can get the exact command, So you can just name. It's a correct one. I think I have to give equals there in between. Name container name. Run. Okay. Okay. So I think this has to come here. Just give -d. Let's be fine. I think so. No. Oh, distilling already one container image test is running. Okay. So let me do one thing. What I'll do, I'll just change it here a little bit. Configure. Let me remove the existing container first. Then let me create a new one. It's too slow. Okay. So each and every time you know, no need to do manually. So what you can do, you can, you know, terminate the existing container and you can add a new container. So with the changes from the depot directly. So developers won't bother about, you know, how to write the container, I know how to run the container, how to run the image. They are actually not bothered about. So what they are bothered about, they are only changing the code from the repo level. That's all it is required. So each and every time, what you're, again, these all the things you can parameterize. If you want to do a sonar analysis, you can check the sonar analysis one. If you want to do an access upload, not necessarily all the time you should run the complete pipeline. You can go with any stage or any step, whatever you are going to write or whatever you want to do. Yeah, so I think correct command, right? Hyphen name. Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do, so this is the one which I'm going to do. I'll just give docker rm -f test. Okay, then I can run it first. Yeah. So this is a small mistake. Guys, any doubts till now? Any doubts? Whatever we discussed till now. And again, as I said, this is one complete project. You know, we have executed. And again, most of the time, what will happen? You know, maximum time you are going to spend on creating the Docker file. Okay, and I hope everybody is aware of, you know, how to create a Docker file. So it is docker rm -f, then yes, I know the image, actually container name.
So are you planning for this whole course or something in Jenkins, or this is just a demo session given?
There is no whole course. This is, you know, one-time webinar. So, you know, just give you gist of how the real-time scenarios are working.
It's just knowledge sharing session.
Yeah, it's a knowledge sharing. It is not like any course.
Okay.
Yeah, if you see, now it is working, and you can just go and refresh it. Okay, you should get your changes automatically. Okay, now it should coming. Where it is taken, where I changed the code. So, oh my God, I didn't save it. I have taken the master branch. It should come. It should come. So I have done master branch code. It means before correct only. So if I'm changed it, ideally it should reflect. So let me do a build again. I had given package, right? When package means it should take. Let me to give clean package. Okay. Anyhow, I'll do that. Meanwhile, any doubts anybody has, because my system is getting very slow. Yes. Anybody has any doubts till now? So what I do, I'll just give a clean practice. Yes, please. Yep. Guys, if any questions till now, whatever we discussed, please do let me know. Yeah. So this artifact, this is not present. Because of that, it is throwing the error message. What you have to do, you have to change the founder.xml file. You have to change the version. Basically, okay. So what it is happening, if you see, it is trying in the Docker file, it is going to the target folder. Since in the target folder, this myapp.war file is not there. So what you have to do here, maybe this is what I have done the changes. So this type of issues, it will come. So you have to go and check where is the issue. I got it, what is the issue, because this is what I have edited. For this, I have changed this one. I removed the final name. So it is looking for the final name, myapp, but it is not coming. Okay. Now let me do a fresh build.
Are you going to upload this session in the ktexperts.com?
I'm not sure. You can just check with them. I'm not really sure what is that plan.
Are you going to share?
Karthik, would you be able to answer this question?
Hello.
So, Karthik.
Yes, Chaitanya. Can you come?
No, they have a doubt. Are you going to upload this session? They're asking, are you going to upload this session? I think
We'll upload on the YouTube, no?
YouTube, then you can get it directly from YouTube.
We'll upload and share it and share the link, no? Maybe in a couple of days or 24 hours.
Okay, thank you. Just we have to go to one round of practice so that we will be more. Okay.
Sorry?
So we have to do one round of practice. So that will be more.
Guys, again, this is very basic thing I used to tell everybody. You know, if you are doing practice, so you'll get maximum. You know, but yeah, practice is must. Without that, it will be really difficult. Okay, so let me run this command. Okay, so this I know what is the problem. So let me run this. Then I should be able to run that pipeline. Okay, so let me build again. There are many things can be discussed, but again, as we are running sort of time, so there are many real-time scenarios I have. But yeah, maybe in next, so maybe after some days, you can have another session, and we can just take those. Now it is build is success. Now we can refresh it. You should get the new changes, whatever, or the new Docker container, whatever you are running. It has come now, right? So the developer, all the time, developer will be doing the changes, right? So, but your changes will be picked up automatically by your Jenkins pipeline, and Jenkins pipeline will do the needful based on your requirement. So basically, the developers and testers can get on the fly one environment where the new changes, whatever they have done, as part of their task or specific sprint or specific Scrum board, whatever they're running. So they can test the code independently. There won't be any, environmental dependencies as part of their development and testing purpose. So to narrowing it down, whatever I have discussed, it is one complete project, which there are 6 members teams I had, everything we are doing end to end. We are using stars at the time, then you're taking the code, doing different versions of Maven and Java and Nexus, and we are uploading to SonarQube with quality gates in place. Then we are running the Docker container and checking whether the Docker containers are running. Yeah. Any questions, clarification, guys? Please. Yes, please. If you guys don't have any question, clarification, then we can wind up the session for today. Yeah. Okay then, guys. Thanks for your time and thanks for Scala IT solution. And they're really doing very good, nice job. Just sharing the knowledge not only about DevOps. They're handling multiple free webinars. For multiple technologies, multiple scenarios, multiple things they are trying, and it's very nice. And I think every Sunday they used to have one session during the same time. You guys just keep following up. If you have any clarifications and all, you can go reach out to Karthik.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a very nice day and good night.
Thanks, Chaitanya.
If you don't mind, could you please share this link for
Which
video?
link? That's what they're telling. They'll be uploading to YouTube, so you can take it later part. Just so what you can do, you can just fill that form to get the recording class. There is a Google form. You can just fill it out and you can get the recordings. Yeah.
Okay, Chaitanya. Thank you so much.